don't know if Alfred Sung is a superstitious man, but I know he's a Taurus, and they're just about the most stubborn sign on the zodiac. Is it that stubbornness that has helped you get to where you are?
Perhaps, yes. You know, I guess I always make sure that I get things done the right way, and I'm persistent about it. And however, you know, I'm not an unreasonable individual, but I do pretty much stick with my belief and be consistent about it.
I've seen that in your life you could have taken branches in many different directions. First of all, you're born in Shanghai, China.
Right.
And if your father hadn't left Shanghai, you might, who knows, you might have been one of the students demonstrating there.
Maybe too old, you know. Listen, I'm already 41 years old, so I think I'm a bit too old for students. Yes, like, you know, if my parents were still living in China, I guess I would still be there too, and I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't know. Maybe a teacher, or I don't know.
But you went to that bastion of free enterprise with your family, Hong Kong.
Right.
And your dad succeeded there as a businessman.
That's right. You know, I guess they moved to Hong Kong with the children right after the revolution, and so basically, you know, we all grew up in Hong Kong, and I stayed until when I was 17. And then my dad sent me to school in Paris, not out of my choice, basically, because I guess, you know, I wanted to be an artist, and he had always wanted me to be either, you know, involved in the medical or to be a lawyer and stuff like that, which I have no interest at all. And so my sister kind of suggests, well, why don't you send him to Paris to go to a fashion design school, because you know, that's a good profession. So for that reason, he sent me there, and it wasn't, as I said, you know, my choice being involved in the fashion industry, and it's pretty much all arranged by my dad.
Almost a compromise there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was always the kind of kid, you know, I was brought up in a way that when your parent tells you to do something, you do it.
Now, did you go to a private school in Hong Kong?
I went to a Catholic boys' school, and I went through quite many years. I recall we wore all whites in summertime with a tie, and then in wintertime a black gabardine jacket and gray flannel trousers, you know, and those were my early years in school, you know. And
it's interesting that you remember the fabrics and the clothes so well from that period.
I do, because it's the only thing we wore. You know, there's no changes from day to day. Black socks, you know, if we wore color socks, we'd be punished by our teacher. You know, so for that reason, I remember, you know,
you still
all the little details.
And you still don't wear colored socks, do you?
No, I don't, actually. I guess my favorite color is white, so I wear a lot of white in summertime, and then socks is always white for me. I don't wear color socks at all. White t-shirt, white color socks, you know.
Is there a trace of that Britishness in your understatement? I mean, you're constantly being described as subtle, understated, although you do often use bold colors in a classic sense. Is there a British sort of understatement in your message that comes possibly from living in Hong Kong?
Perhaps, and also I guess just perhaps I guess has something to do with how I was brought up, you know, and I guess my mom never wore any colors, you know, and I guess our family is very conservative, you know, and there's always that subtlety in things, very quiet, you know. Yeah, it has something to do with that, definitely.
You're from a big family, though.
Quite a big family. We had 8 altogether. Yeah, I got 2 brothers and 5 sisters.
And you're somewhere in the middle, are you?
I'm number 6, actually.
So you were used to being surrounded by lots of people. Then when you went to Paris, I think you were about, what, age 17 at the time?
I was 17 and I was young and very immature and I guess extremely shy and depended everything on my parents because I was very protected when I was a kid. So I was frightened when I went to Paris to school. I didn't know how to live by myself because I was scared, basically, and lonely, and extremely homesick. I remember I wrote my father and begged him to let me come home. I said, please let me come back. Yeah.
But you went to, in case anyone wants to follow in your footsteps, the Chambre syndicale de la couture parisienne.
That's right.
Was that a good school?
It's supposed to be the best at the time, and I believe it's probably still considered one of the finest fashion schools in the world. And I believe that a lot of respected designers went to that school as well, such as Kenzo, Yves Saint Laurent, and designers like that. And it was a wonderful experience for me, and looking back, I think I was very fortunate to get my training in that school. It was a lot of hard times in the beginning from someone that didn't know very much about fashion, have absolutely no knowledge or interest in sewing or doing drapings. It was tough, I remember screamed by my teachers all the time, like, ooh la la, what have you done? And her face turned red, and she used a red pencil and, do a big cross on my canvas, and then I'd be shaking, getting so upset. But I guess I learned a lot of discipline from that school because, they taught things the French way. This is the right way to do it. This is the wrong way to do it. And they remember, one of the things the school really put emphasis on is simplicity, and elegance. Everything has to be elegant. Even when you do drawing, the way the model, the position of the model should be elegant. And I think it's good. It's very nice.
So you learned all the old-fashioned, not very fun parts of fashion there, that, sewing, stitching, these...
That's right, by hand, because it's a couture school, so you learn a lot of little, details like, even say how to iron a garment properly, and we don't have electric irons, and that was way back in the late 60s, and it was basically a piece of iron on a hot stove, and we have to use a piece of leather to hold the handle, because otherwise you get burned. And they teach you how to stretch the fabric, say on a collar, how to make the collar roll and fall nicely. So you wet it with another piece of cloth, and then you use the iron to do like that. I burned quite a few pieces of the garment, but I learned, yeah.
You still carry this with you now, don't you? Your obsessive ironing skills.
This morning in the hotel, I was ironing for ironing board, and Cheryl was laughing at me because I phoned her and said, "Well, Cheryl, do you have an iron for me?" And she said, "No, I don't have it in my room, so I have to order one because I don't like to wear garments that's terribly creased." Well, if it happens during the day, it's fine, but in the morning when I put on something, I like to make sure that it's properly ironed.
Well, further along in this quirky clothing